brain. These discoveries have led to the field known as neuroeconomics, which studies the brain's secrets to success in an economic environment that demands innovation and being able to do things differently from competitors. A brain
Great.
that can do this
Stop. So this is the line which I want you to focus on. Which studies the brain's secrets to success in an economic environment. So see, the word neuroeconomics is written here, and they have given a definition to neuroeconomics in the very after comma, whatever is written is important. Let us just read this once again. Which studies the brain's...
So I chose the C option. I said A by mistake.
Yeah, so this is the line which gives the answer, right? So neuroeconomics is, it studies the brain's secrets to success in an economic environment that demands innovation and being able to do things differently from competitors. An economic environment means a tough environment where the demands are very high. Okay, so so brain's secret to success that demands innovation and able to think differently. From that perspective, so economic environment is a competitive environment. There is a competition happening between demand and supply. So let us say you have got some limited time to take a decision. Let us say you are sitting in a room and all of a sudden a lion comes. Would you be thinking, what are you going to cook in the evening? आज शाम को पकौड़े खाऊंगा. Would you be thinking like that if there is a lion in the room? So this is what is the meaning of an economic environment. An economic environment is where the demand is very high and the supply is very less. So you've got very less supply of time and you have to take a big decision. So in such a competitive environment where there is a competition happening between you and the lion, how the brain would think, right? So this is what it is. And yeah, the answer is C to this one. How can it not be? I mean, somebody chose D also.
Yes, sir, me, Rahul.
See, you have to match the words. There is no such word as neurons, different areas of brain. ये तो बड़ा, like, it looks like very biological kind of answer, where we are talking about neurons and how they firing pattern. All this is totally out of scope, isn't it?
सर फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ में मेंशन्ड है पर ये न्यूरोइकोनॉमिक्स की डेफिनेशन नहीं है तो वही गलत है. सेकंड लाइन इस वही बोला कि फायरिंग पैटर्न के बारे में पर
So what is your learning? The learning is look for the keyword and look for the words which are near the keyword. The keyword here is neuroeconomics and you're supposed to get words related to that. So if you look at only the word neuroeconomics, in the second line this word comes and you're supposed to answer based on that. So having your focus on keywords is very important. Let's go to the second question. What is the answer?
Second.
According to the writer, the iconoclasts are distinctive. So what is the keyword here? Iconoclasts are distinctive. What is the other word for distinctive?
Different.
They are different, they are unique. So let us look for that word in the paragraph where they talk about iconoclasts to be distinctive. I think it is in the second
paragraph 2 में दिया है. This definition implies लिखा ना, it is their brain different.
Yeah, they are different from other people, but then they say they are making it more precise, saying that it is their brains that are different in 3 ways. So their brains are different, which means they are born with a different brain. Is that so? Can I say that? They're born with brain. It's not that they develop it after birth. It's like they are.
It also says that it can be developed after birth. There is a sentence here, remember.
Where is that?
It was somewhere when I was reading the passage.
But then if you talk about this particular paragraph where they are talking about how are these guys different, it is more about they being blessed with a different brain. If you just focus on this paragraph, right? It says their brains are plain different. That's it. It's not that, I mean, they develop it, but then it's like, so the scope of this question is second paragraph only. So if we take that into consideration and try to answer the question, we would have to say that their brains are different. Where brains are different means they are different. It's born, it's by birth they are different. So what should be the answer to the second question in that case? What is the answer to the second one? Samyak, what was your answer?
सर मेरा आंसर होगा
B, sir.
सर बी, मेरा भी बी ही होगा.
You say B now, okay. What was your answer earlier? Arindam, what
सर
was...
मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ, आपकी आवाज आ रही है ना?
जी जी सर.
आपका पहले क्या आंसर था? अरिंदम, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, आपका पहले क्या
सर
आंसर?
बी 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 मेरा भी था.
पहले भी आंसर बी लगाया था आपने या अभी लगाया है?
Yes.
चेंज किया है?
नहीं नहीं, मेरा हरदम बी था सर.
शाबाश. Samyak and Rahul?
So B.
Good. So you have got this right. Samyak, you too, right?
Yes,
Samyak?
sir.
Yeah, okay. Let's look at the third question now. Now, one more important thing that you can see is all these questions are flowing in the same sequence as the paragraph. First question, first paragraph. Second question, second paragraph. Third question, third paragraph. So you can, go by this. Mostly the sequence of the questions is the same as the sequence of the passage. So you can always go with this kind of logic that you will get the answer to the first question in the first paragraph and so on. All right, now let us focus on the third question and try to understand what kind of question is this. The statement reads, according to the writer, the brain works efficiently because. When I say because, what am I searching?
Reason or justification.
Reason or justification, very good. So we have to look for the reason or justification for the brain functioning efficiently. What is there behind the brain's efficiency? What makes our brain work efficiently? What is the meaning of efficiently, first of all? So when we say
efficiently means, I think according to economics, it means like it takes less input and gives more output.
Exactly. Optimizing the output, less input, more output. So a more efficient worker would be able to produce more items. A more efficient machine would be able to produce more products. So when we talk about efficiency, we talk about the quantity of the output, isn't it? We want more efficient machines which can produce more masks in the less time span. We want more efficient machines which can produce lots and lots of COVID testing kits. So it's the question of efficiency right now, isn't it? Because we want more and more people to be tested. So efficiency is the quantity of output, right? In the given time span, how much can I produce? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So which means it is asking about what makes our brain work efficiently. What is it which makes it efficient? So let's go to the next paragraph and find out. So it's saying that brain works with limited resources. It has got fixed energy like that of a bulb, and where most people are impeded from being iconoclast. And this is where people are impeded by iconoclast. I mean, since you have got very less energy, you try to be fast. So why do people rely on their experience to take decisions? Why do people take decisions based on their experience? Why?
To prevent the mistakes they had made before.
No, not necessary.
To take a faster decision, not waste time.
To become efficient, they want fast, isn't it? So in order to be fast, Instead of analyzing the situation, I rely on my past experience. If there is a lion in the room, what will I assume?
Danger.
Danger, that it's going to kill me. It might have come to say hi to me.
But I think that would be on analyzation and like experience of others, not our own experience.
Yeah, of course. But then, I mean, we have imbibed that. We have taken that experience as our own experience itself, right? We do not really let go. I mean, we do not go to the jungle and meet a lion just to have a first experience and then take a decision, right? So I'm talking about the experience as a whole of the whole lot of mass. So whatever is the wisdom of me or others, I take that as my experience and I take decisions based on that. So if there is a lion, the first thing that strikes my mind is it's going to kill me. It's going to eat me. It might be that the lion is already full or he's not in mood to eat me. My first reaction would be a defense reaction. Why? Because my experience is like that. So I rely on my experience because I don't want to waste time. This is generally a common man does, isn't it? So if there is a person who is wearing a mask and who is walking like this and who is sneezing and coughing, what is the first thing that goes in my mind?
So
He's
that
a
is sick.
Coronavirus.
coronavirus. He is a COVID patient. I will not even go near him. It might be some general case of just sneezing and coughing, right?
Yes, sir.
So we base our judgments on our experience. This is what a common man does. Now, so this is what makes us efficient, right? But then it does not allow us to think in a different way. It's like a trap. That's
Yes,
what this
sir.
paragraph is saying. Thus, it will draw on both past experience and any other source of information. So, others' experience, as Samyak was telling, such as what other people say to make sense of what is seeing. This happens all the time. The brain takes shortcuts that work so well, we hardly ever become aware of it. We think our perceptions of the world are real. They are only biological and electrical ramblings. Perception is not simply a product of all this. So basically, we want to how does the brain work efficiently? Now, if I have to ask answer to this one, what is your answer now?
Sir, D. It relies on previous events.
Exactly. Is that not the right one? You tell me.
Yes, sir.
Samyak and Rahul,
हाँ सर डी होगा.
you also
Yes,
did.
sir. Yes, sir. D.
What
D,
was your
sir.
answer earlier? Was that D only?
D.
Yes, sir.
Good. Yeah, very good. What about question number 4? What is it asking? So see, we have to spend a little more time understanding the question. This is very important. If you understand the question well, like what is the meaning of efficiency is very important. And we have to spend more time understanding the question than finding the right answer. Because if we do not understand the question, we'll end up finding something which is not relevant. Okay, now let's go to question number 4. The writer says that perception is. So what is perception? What is your answer to this one?
This is fourth, right? What? C.
You said
Sir, which question?
question
Fourth.
number 4, yes.
So C.
Okay, Rahul?
C, sir.
It's a result. Result means a product. So they say this, right? There is a line there in the passage which says perception is a product, something like that. Yeah, this line, the last line here. More than physical reality of photons or sound waves, perception is a product of brain. So when you say product, it's an end product, something which you get as a result of something, right?
Yes, sir.
Perception is a product, which means it is the result of a brain process. Fantastic. You got all these questions correct. What about the fifth one?
Sir,
A.
sir,
Okay.
I'm not very sure, but maybe B.
Okay. What about Rahul?
Sir, fifth I have done A.
centralizes perceptual thinking in one part of the brain, which means
When I was reading the passage, I don't remember reading one part of the brain, but it does use the word centralize.
oh, okay. So probably you went with a word to take a decision here. Can you explain the meaning of the question to me? So according to the writer, an iconoclastic thinker. So we are talking about an iconoclastic thinker. So who is an iconoclastic thinker, first of all?
Who thinks differently?
Who thinks differently? What do you mean by differently?
Who is
Who the person who is so
So how does a common man thinks?
not in the line of the thinking of a common man.
Yeah, so how does a
Common
common
person.
man think?
On past experiences.
Exactly. We are the slaves of our experience. This is how a common man thinks.
yes, sir.
Whatever we experienced, we take decisions based on our experience. Now,
As
if
a
I
past
feel,
experiences kaha hai?
yeah, so if we say that iconoclast is a different thinker, would he depend on past experience or would he not depend on past experience?
He would not depend on past.
Exactly. So according to the writer, an iconoclast thinker is the one who does not depend on past experience. That's the central theme, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can we call the past experiences cognitive trap? What is cognitive? What is cognitive? Yeah.
I forgot the meaning.
So cognitive is probably something related to intelligence because recognize. Cognitive is related to intelligence. Like motor movements are there or motor skills and
Yeah.
cognitive skills. Usually in the parlance of child development, these words are very common. Motor
It's
skills
like
are
like intellectual skills, something like that.
exactly. So cognitive skills would be intellectual skills. What is basically intellect? In general
Which
terms,
is
like when we define that, oh, he's an intellectual.
like
So
I had sort of mucked up the meaning of intellect because I sort of forgot it 4 times, but I forgot it again. I'll just
okay.
search it again.
So what
If
is
I
the
just
meaning of intellect?
like I literally remember the meaning from Google, I just need some tweaking.
Actually, if you talk about somebody, whom do you call? So you call a doctor as an intelligent person, you call an engineer as an intelligent person, a lawyer is considered to be an intelligent person. Why? More because these guys remember things and apply them. So in general terms, intelligence is more a function of memory.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, if you talk about intelligence in the general sense, people who are able to remember a lot are considered to be intelligent because they have lots of intelligence there with them. But an iconoclast person is not the slave of his intelligence. He does not get trapped by cognitive. I mean, he does not get trapped by his intelligence, so to say. I don't know whether these words convey the right meaning or not because it's a little confusing, you know. So let me just come back to this one. Basically,
I couldn't understand the meaning of intellect. Like if
yeah.
Google
So
changes the meaning
we don't depend on Google. Again, Google is what?
virtually.
Google is past experience.
Yeah.
So
Oh
we,
yeah. Oh, Google is not an iconoclast.
so Google again is past experience. Google is something fixed. It's not applied. It is something which is written by someone.
Yeah.
So to be logical, a cognitive person should be one, or an intelligent person should be one who uses his intelligence, who does not use his memory, isn't it? And there is
Yeah.
a huge difference between intelligence and memory. Because
But
if I'm using my memory, am I using my intelligence?
the past experiences, for example, if a person is in a tough situation, I think it is his intelligence which will guide the outcome.
So
So I
there is a very thin line. There is a very, very thin line between uh, depending on memory alone and depending on something absolutely new. Like, for example, as of now, what is happening? If we look at most of the steps that we are taking,
yeah.
they are the steps which are based on memory. To prevent the disease, we know that this country didn't do lockdown, this country did lockdown, so let us do lockdown. Because probably that would
Yes,
be,
sir. Based on the past experiences, as
it's all
China
based
did.
on
So,
past experience. There is,
yes, sir.
so it is good. I'm not saying it is bad, but then,
But South Korea didn't. That means South
yeah,
Korea's leader may be an iconoclast.
exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good example. South Korea was like totally out of the league. It,
Yes, sir.
it did things in a very different way. So as of now, we are depending on our memory and we are trying to use that. It's not bad. It's not bad. But then there can be a different way which could be equally efficient. I mean, actually, we would be deviating a little bit, but I want to say this, that it is pathetic that in a country like India, we are not able to create our own kits to test. What?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's,
But but most of the
So,
countries aren't able to do it.
one, once
how does
that,
it matter? If one China can do it, why can't we? Who stops us? So it's a different story though. But then we are all depending on someone's intelligence and past experience. And this guy is taking a case of us, giving all kinds of those kits which are substandard, and we are depending on them. What for? So those are the things which are, so basically, again, to come back to the question. So an iconoclastic person is more towards taking decisions based on every experience as a new experience. He relies less on his past memory and more on what he can do right now to solve this problem with a fresh perspective. So I'm not biased. I'm not saying this is good or bad or whatever, but then by the definition of this particular passage, an iconoclast avoids cognitive traps, which means relying totally on the past experience.
Sir, what's the meaning of this first line of fourth paragraph? Is it
Let's
some
go there. Okay, first line of the fourth paragraph. Let's take the, yeah, 1, 2, 3. This is the perception is central
perception?
to iconoclasm. So perception is what? What is perception? They've just defined perception here. It's a product of brain. So he says perception is central to iconoclasm. Iconoclasts see things differently to other people. Their brains do not fall into efficiency pitfalls as much as the average person's brain. What does this mean? So they are not bothered about, I have to do it really quickly. This person will think, how can I do it differently and more, in a more effective way. Even if I take 2 minutes more, I'll do it in a way which is more effective eventually.
yes, sir.
So this is what it is. Their brains do not fall into efficiency pitfalls. They don't want to, it's like, if you talk about all the artists, these people think and look at things in a different way and come up with a different solution. If you talk about scientists, in the real sense of the word, not all the scientists, but those who really give something new, they look, about this guy, our dear, who is the founder of Apple?
So, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. So there was somebody who came up with a mobile phone to him, And he said, see, this can be the most compact mobile phone. You cannot have a mobile phone more compact than this. And he took that mobile phone and dropped that in a bucket full of water. And there were bubbles coming out of that mobile phone, you know. So when he dropped the mobile phone in water, obviously wherever there was some space, bubbles came out. Do you understand what is happening here?
Yes, sir.
He
Yes, sir.
said,
Air trap inside is coming out.
yeah, he said if there are bubbles coming out, which means there is still space, take that space out. I want a smaller mobile from this also.
Yes, sir.
So this is what, this is how an iconoclastic brain thinks. He would not be bound by what the eyes and ears perceive. He would go in a very logical manner with his own logic. He said that, see, the bubbles are coming out. Can you see that? If there are bubbles, which means there is space, please make it smaller. Although it sounds illogical, but that's what it is. They are not the slaves of past experiences. They look at things a little differently. And that's how new things are invented. So this is what the answer. So, okay, do you got this, Rahul? What is the meaning of this line?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Let's go to the next question now. This is a very interesting passage. A very, very different type of passage and a very interesting one. Okay, exposure to different events forces brain to think differently. So if you go by general knowledge, what would you say? If you encounter different experiences, would your brain be thinking differently every time?
Yes.
So what was your answer to this question?
Yes.
Yeah. What
Yes.
were your answers, Rahul and Arindam?
Yes.
Yeah, the answer to this one is yes, and there is a clear evidence also. Where is the evidence? Here it is. The best way to see things differently to other people is to bombard the brain with things it has never encountered before. So the answer is true to this one. Okay, what about the next one? Question number 7. Iconoclasts are unusually receptive to new experiences.
Not given.
Okay, now let us look at these keywords. Unusually receptive and new experiences. Let me see. Let me just go and find out. Have they said something like that? Novelty releases the perceptual process from the chains of past and all this. Now look at this line. Successful iconoclasts have an extraordinary willingness. Can I call extraordinary as unusual? What was
Yes,
that?
I
sir.
think so.
So extraordinary is unusual, right? And willingness is that word. What was the word there? Unusual, receptiveness, something like that.
Receptive.
They are
But
unusually
receptive
receptive.
is, but I think receptive is like responsive or something.
Receptive is ready to receive. The word receptive comes from receiving something. So unusually receptive is unusually accepting something, welcoming something, receiving, ready to receive
Okay.
what is fresh and different. So this is very clearly told. This line is just a paraphrase of that line. So it makes sense. The answer is yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next question. Most people are too shy to try different things. What is the answer to this one?
Not given. Not given.
What about you, Rahul and Arindam?
So question number 7.
8.
So 8th will be
Sir, I said no.
so not given. Even mine not given.
Yeah, they have not told why people are so why people avoid new situations. So it is not given.
Sir, there is a line which says that people don't try new things because of their fear. So, sir, isn't this line the The sentence you are given is contradicting that statement.
Okay, look at this. The same line. Successful iconoclasts have an extraordinary willingness to be exposed to what is fresh and different. Observation of iconoclasts shows that they embrace novelty while most people avoid things that are different. So we know that most people avoid things that are different, as you can see it here, this line. But they have not given reason why. They simply said most people avoid things that are different.
So in next paragraph, second line, it first and second line says that average person does not do because of fear.
Okay, the problem with novelty, however, is that it tends to trigger the brain's fear system. So now they have started a new context altogether. But then if you talk about most people, so you see, look at this. I'm trying to match the keywords. It says most people avoid things that are different, and the story ends there. So if I say most people avoid things that are different, they have not given any reason there. And in the question, the same word is used. So I would rather refer to the previous line than this. Most people are too shy. So they avoid, but why do they avoid? I don't know. So in the next line, they have started a new context altogether.
But sir, the reason is given in the next paragraph, so why can't we see that?
Yeah, but I'm trying to match the same keyword there. See, if I look at the next paragraph, the best way to think is to bombard the brain. Where is that paragraph? Here. The problem with novelty, however, so now they are starting a new context, is that it tends to trigger the brain's fear system. I don't see most people here. Fear is a major impediment to thinking like an iconoclast and stops the average person in his tracks. So this very word, most people, makes me think that I have to refer to this previous paragraph rather than this one.
Okay, sir. Understand.
Okay, so that question is done. And if I go to the next question, if you think like an iconoclast, you can easily overcome fear.
Not
What's the
given.
answer? Okay, Samyak says not given. What about others?
Actually, I think it may be yes, because they think logically, and logic would not like let feeling like fear come in.
Okay, so you are somewhere between not given and yes. What about
Yeah.
the other two?
Sir, I have done not given.
You are saying not given. Okay, Arindam, 9th.
So 9th. So not given.
See, this question is like very interesting one. Let's first of all look at let's first of all understand the question. So if you start thinking like an athlete, your muscles will go strong. Can that happen? Oh, from today onwards, I'm thinking like Usain Bolt. So I'll become lean and mean like him. I'll have that kind of body. Why? Because all the time I'm dreaming like Usain Bolt. Is that possible?
No. I don't know. This question is very confusing.
So this is a little confusing, but then you can always relate it with what you already know. If you start thinking like a doctor, you will improve in biology. Your biology will get better. You will get good marks in biology if you start thinking like a doctor. If you start thinking like an engineer, your performances in maths and physics would improve. Will it happen like that?
The answer, I think, must be no then.
It's absolutely, yeah. They've gone too much. I mean, they have kind of taken it too far. Then, well, so if you think like, first of all, you cannot think like an iconoclast that way. It's like it's a learned skill, of course, but then you cannot just think like an iconoclast the way it is mentioned so casually here.
Yeah.
You can easily over. So, do you think that an iconoclast would be always unafraid, or he would not be facing fear at all?
Oh,
Not really. Those doctors who are going and those policemen who are going to save people these days, are they not afraid? They are. but a little bit of iconoclastic thinking. They are not basing all their decisions on the past experience. They very much know that they might catch it for sure, and many of them have caught it. But they are still able to manage their fear and do things which are right in that particular moment. So an iconoclastic thinker, in the same way, not that he would not be afraid, but he'll still not be taking decisions based on fear. He'll still be able to take decisions which he thinks is right and do things which he thinks is right. Isn't it? But the opposite is not true. I cannot think like an iconoclast and easily, because there is nothing like overcoming fear. The only thing that you can do is you can manage fear.
Yes, sir.
And what is said here, I mean, this is, we were just understanding the question up till now. Let us look at the evidence, what is said here. Which paragraph we have reached to? I think this paragraph, we were at this one, right? Novelty tends to trigger the brain's fear system. Yeah, here it was. Fear, and we can overcome fear. Fear is a major impediment to thinking like an icon. So as you can see this, they have given so much importance to fear. It says that fear is a major impediment. So you really cannot overcome fear. It is a big hurdle to think like an iconoclast and stops the average person in his tracks. It stops the average person in his tracks, actually. It never lets an average person think like an iconoclast because he's so afraid.
Yes, sir.
So if you, this one is too much of a stretch and too much of a kind of illogical decision. If you say, if you think like an iconoclast, you will be able to overcome fear altogether. It is bang opposite to what is said here, that fear does not let you think like an iconoclast. Okay, so this one is no.
So answer would be no.
Answer would be no. Yeah. When concern about embarrassment matters less, other fears become irrelevant. What was your answer?
So not given.
Not
It's
given.
not given.
Not said anything about this. Fear of public speaking is a psychological illness.
Not given.
Not given.
Fear
So
of
no. Answer no होगा.
Okay, so
Mhm.
fear of public
No.
speaking is a तो उसने तो बीमारी ही बोल दिया इसको. It's an illness. So let us see what they have said about it. Fear of public speaking. I think in this para itself they have said, yeah, but fear of public speaking, which everyone must do from time to time, afflicts 1/3 of the population. So many people are afraid of public speaking. This makes it too common to be considered a mental disorder. So it is considered as mental disorder, does not mean it is a mental disorder.
So answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. It is, they're still saying after that, it is simply a common, it is means now they are talking about the reality. What it is simply a common variant of human nature. So it's just a variant of human nature, one which iconoclasts do not let inhibit their reactions. So it's not a disease, of course. So according to this, an iconoclast would be able to speak his brain without any fear. Okay, now the last two questions. What is the answer to this one? Requires both thinking like a successful iconoclast is demanding because it. What is the answer to the 12th one?
A.
Okay, Samyak says A. What about Rahul and Arindam?
Sir, A.
So A.
A is correct, yes. What about 13th?
So B.
E. E.
That is correct. And what about 14th?
C.
C.
Okay. So this
C.
is good. All of you are done with this passage. and I'm glad that you did this. Now I'm going to send you the answer to the next passage also. Please check it once and see about which questions are incorrect, and then we'll deal with those which are incorrect. Which was the other passage you did?